cut video yẹn small. I need the full video. Come back besita nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ bó ṣe nà. Síbẹ̀ ńgbà tí wọ́n níbi tí wọ́n ti nà tó ti jókòó sórí wheelchair yẹn. We were not shown the place where he was being beaten. We need to see that video in full. Can you now see that we have Black Maria la máa fi kó evidence wa lọ sí court. Ẹ̀yẹ ló ń bá yín tán. Adìyẹ tó lẹ́sẹ̀ tó pọ̀, ìka ẹsẹ̀ adìyẹ tó pọ̀ dáadáa, ó máa kẹsẹ̀ bọ́ nísìn.
God bless you, Gladiator.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
No control, no going back.
It's meant to be a preamble submission before we go into the depth of the analysis.
Yes, let me put this.
Where is Latida?
Ẹ jẹ́ kí n máa sọ̀rọ̀ lọ kí n wá láti lọ sílé náà. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n wá lọ dé.
Láti má busy.
Kọ́kọ́ wa lọlé because ó lè ti lè rìn dé lọ. Sùn bọ̀. So, sáré sọ ilé ṣẹ́rí lánàá. I was on one platform.
To those of you saying that
I was on one platform ní àná. Wọ́n wá play kí náà ti pè wọ́n wá play Boboy. Wọ́n play Sam Larry. Ṣó ti yé yín. So IT guy wà ń bẹ̀. Ó wá sọ nígbà tán play ẹ̀ tán pé okay everybody wá give analysis lórí nǹkan tí wọ́n gbọ́ ẹ̀. Could you believe wípé IT guy ò lè sọ̀rọ̀? IT guy ó bọ́lẹ̀ ni. IT guy ó bọ́lẹ̀ ni because kò sí nǹkan tó lè sọ. Ẹ máa ṣọ́ IT guy káàkiri. With this new move yìí, ẹ rí i pé ẹnu IT guy ò ní gbọ̀rọ̀ mọ́. Ẹnu ẹ̀ ò ní gbọ̀rọ̀ mọ́.
Yawa ní gift o. Pátá fi ṣe ìjọba pátá.
Ẹ̀yin gifters. Ẹ bọ́ síbi.
Pátá fi ṣe ìjọba pátá. Bá ṣe ẹ̀ṣọ́ ìtẹ́. Yawa ní gift o. Pátá fi ṣe ìjọba pátá. Yawa ní gift o. Pátá fi ṣe ìjọba pátá. Pátá bá ṣe ẹ̀ṣọ́ ìtẹ́. 10 people should share this show to 10 people. 10 people should share this show to 10 people. 10 people should share this show to 10 people. Yawa ní gift o. Pátá fi ṣe ìjọba. Yawa ní gift o. Pátá fi ṣe ìjọba. Yawa ní gift o. Pátá fi ṣe.
Thank you so much, General Comfy. God bless you. You have heard it from the specialist. I want to gbéṣẹ́ fún nìyẹn. Wọ́n ní kẹ́ power tap, wọ́n ní kẹ́ share, wọ́n ní kẹ́ fún wa ní gifty. So please do those 3, okay? Thank you very much once again, General Comfy. Gladiator, the Swift, are you there now? The Swift, are you there now? Okay. All right, Sus, have a go. Sus, Gladiator, Sus, have a go. Before I start my analysis, please. The Sus, are you there?
to me.
Yes, now go on, have a go.
No, I will talk later, General.
All right, thank you. All right. There's something that we need to understand as it is today concerning justice for Mohbad. The death of Mohbad was not a coincidence. The day Mohbad was Kpai was not a coincidence. Everything was planned out. Everything was mapped out. Everything was designed to happen on that day. The mere fact that Wunmi picked a fight with Mohbad on that day and went to a show for the first time with Mohbad with a 5-month-old baby was not a coincidence too. For the fact that Wunmi pick up unnecessary fight with Mohbad on that day was not a coincidence. Wumi Adebanjo was aware that Mohbad was going to be off as soon as he got home on that day. People like Naira Marley, Sam Larry were also aware that Mohbad would be Kpai on that same day. It was not a secret. It was not an unfortunate incident to them. They were in the knowledge that something terrible will happen to Mohbad at that particular period. And that was why neither Naira Marley nor Sam Larry was around on the day Mohbad was killed. According to them, both have left the country to different places. Why was any one of them not in Nigeria the day Mohbad was silenced? So they were all aware that something terrible will happen to Mohbad the day he was silenced. Wumi Adebanjo was not supposed to be in the house on that day. Wumi Adebanjo was supposed not to be in that picture at all. And that was why she tried all she could to get off the scene until God used those that were in that car to draw her back into the scene. And for the fact that Wumi was present in that scene has shed more light into this scenario than it would have done if she was not in the scene. In fact, the greatest mistake that Wumi made was to be in that scene, because she didn't plan to be in the scene. She wanted to get out of the car to sleep in a hotel. She wanted to do that because she knew what was waiting for Mohbad at home. We heard that when they were leaving the home, they jammed the key, they jammed the door, and it was Mohbad that opened that door. I want to believe it was premeditated. Don't also forget, when they got home, Spenny said they met some people in the house. When they got home, who were those people? Nobody knows who those people were that they met at home. That is to say, it was not the usual occupant of the house that happened to be in that house the day Mohbad was silenced. Who are those people? Could they be an assassin? Could they be servants and apprentices from the palace? Who are those people? The identity of those people has not been identified to today. Talking about Sam Larry was not beating Mohbad because Mohbad owed him 2 million naira. Sam Larry has given conflicting reports about his relationship with Mohbad. There was a place where Sam Larry said he had only seen Mohbad twice. There was a place he said he had been booking Mohbad for shows in Dubai, Kenya, and all over the places. That even in fact, there was a show he wanted to take him to go and do in Dubai. Mohbad did not show up, and because of that, he was not happy with Mohbad and all that. Sam Larry is another person in this saga that has been inconsistently inconsistent, just like Wumi Adebanjo. Why has Wumi refused to mention the name of Sam Larry? The same way Yawa and the rest of them have been shouting Naira Marley in all their videos where they were calling for justice. Sam Larry, that was visibly present in so many videos that resulted in so much severe injury on Mohbad, was not called for questioning, was not called out by Wumi Adebanjo. Could it be that Wumi herself knows that if she tried to call out Sam Larry will be drawn into a lagoon? And Sam Larry will not be drawn alone. Sam Larry will also draw Saheed into the lagoon. And Saheed will not be drawn alone. Wumi Adebanjo and Liam will also be drawn into the lagoon. So Wumi was trying everything possible to avoid the name of Sam Larry like a plague. Sam Larry is a right-hand man of Saheed Elegushi. In fact, they said Sam Larry used to refer to himself that His name is Sam Larry Elegushi. That is, he was fond of telling people that he was getting direct order from the palace, and there was nothing anybody could do about it. In fact, in that video, where he was shown to have badging on Mohbad and Zlatan, he was also saying that place, Zlatan Madasio Atodo Elegushi Lele. They may have edited that part where he said Atodo Elegushi Lele, but I will tell you for free, those that had copied and saved that original video, they have the video evidences. And we cannot shy away from the fact that Sam Larry has been doing the dirty jobs for this king. The likes of Obele, Elele, their political talks. We have seen videos during the NSAS protest where some of these men were holding UTC, holding cutlass, and trying to scare protesters away. So they are hoodlums that do dirty jobs for the so-called big men in our dear country called Nigeria. And you cannot exonerate them from what happened to Mohbad, because Mohbad petition was totally and clearly written in capital letters, where he stated the names of those that were looking for his life to be taken away, those that wanted to hurt him with threat that they were going to kill him next time they see him. And what happened to Mohbad 2.5 months after? Mohbad was killed. And it will be out of foolishness, it will be out of wickedness and sheer evil for anybody to exonerate those whose names were clearly written in that allegation, in that petition, from the death of Mohbad. Either they were physically present or they were absent. It did not matter at this point. Someone cried out for safety of his life, and within 2.5 months, that person ended up dead mysteriously. Yorùbá ní pé egun àtìró wọlé, èyàn àtìró jáde. Ta ni ó mọ̀ pé egun àtìró tó wọlé ló dèyàn àtìró tó jáde. Say you dey whine us ni. I was just laughing when Sam Larry was busy saying a lot of things. Mohbad, Irika, I like Mohbad, I like Mohbad. Are you normal? You went to a recording venue with cutlasses, with boys. And at the end of the day, we saw Mohbad in the same cloth where he was crying with blood stains. And you are telling us that you did not beat him. Are you really insane? Are you normal? So if you did not beat him, so how come his blood was on his shirt? How come his shirt was shredded on the same day? Because it is hard for people to wear the same clothes all the time. Why must it be that it was when he wore those clothes that something evil happened to him? Was it that the cloth was under a curse? That anytime Mohbad wore it, something evil must happen to him? Are you whining us? And yes, you are still telling me. You are still telling me that you did not beat him. In fact, you went to eat amala. All right. Emma Jamala Dada. After you finish eating amala, wallahi, you will eat panden yam. You will eat, in fact, you will eat pupuru. You will eat ilafun. After to jamala, you made a mistake. You are supposed to even tell us that you ate turkey and shawarma on that day. After you are beating him, left him bloodily wounded, you are telling us you ate amala. God bless you, General Comfy. I want to believe that the mayhem on Mohbad actually started as soon as Wunmi Adebanjo became pregnant of Liam. The problem of Mohbad actually started the time Wunmi Adebanjo became pregnant of Liam. And ultrasound showed that Liam was a boy. Because I want to believe that Wunmi Adebanjo is all-round network. Olosho, she's a prostitute. She's a call girl. And that would not be the first girl that Sam Larry would have given to Said. Because somebody that called herself a sister to Saheed Elegushi, confirm it that Sam Larry was sleeping with Wumi, and when he was tired of Wumi, handed Wumi to Saheed Elegushi. He was trying to exonerate Saheed Elegushi that it was Sam Larry Lokoba Saidi, according to that audio. So, and then Wumi would not be the first girl that Sam Larry would have passed to this king. Would not be the first girl. But what made Wumi's case to be different was the fact that Wumi became pregnant and became pregnant of Liam. And the king himself wanted a male child at all costs and did not, it meant nothing to him where the male child came from. Either he came from a harlot, a prostitute, someone with HIV, someone with a chronic sexually transmitted disease. It's none of his business. And as soon as he realized that Liam in pregnancy was a boy, his commitment, his dedication to ensure the safety of the pregnancy and the mother got to the height of it. He was more committed than before. Perhaps he would have told Wumi to go and abort that pregnancy because he could not allow to toy with his throne, especially with the first wife at home that was holding on to his jugular. That no way, I will not allow you to bring any woman that will bear you a male child in this palace. But when Wumi became pregnant, and he must have told Wumi to abort it, Wumi refused. And unluckily for him, I don't know what to call it. Why use the adjective luckily or unluckily? Let me just use both. Luckily and unluckily. For Saidi.
You are doing well. You are doing well. Use anything usable. We understand you.
The child was a boy. And when the child became a boy, the game changed. Wumi became the queen of the moment. Wumi became the apple of the palace. Wumi now started enjoying all the benefits that even a royal queen was not enjoying. The protection for Wumi, the care for Wumi increased at that point. And Wumi, having known that she was carrying a heir to the throne, became more arrogant, more oppressing, more recalcitrant, more adamant, more rebellious to Mohbad. And the threat on Mohbad's life was originated from Wumi. The threat on Mohbad's life was from Wumi. Let me tell you, something is peculiar to women. Women, they don't have secret. If women are going to deal with you, before they make 5 sentences, they will make one of those sentences that will portray their intentions. Women don't actually have secrets at all. Men can hide things. Men can do some horrific things without them even telling people about it. But women, they were not created that way. So at one point in time, we must have mentioned it to Mohbad that I was going to deal with you. I was better than you. You were not better than me. I was getting somebody that was richer than you, somebody that was more politically inclined than you, somebody that had more connection than you, and somebody that would be able to deal with you if you do anything silly. And it was at that point that Wumi grew wings and started gallivanting, oppressing Mohbad, intimidating him, and sold him out to those that were bullying him outside his abode. If justice will be done to this case, when Mohbad wrote that petition, you will realize that it was when Wumi was what? When Wumi was already pregnant of Liam. Because that was when the threat and the abuse was at the height of it. Without Liam, Mohbad's life would not have been put in jeopardy. Without Liam in the picture, Mohbad's life perhaps would have been saved and Mohbad would be alive today. But the presence of Liam in the equation changed the whole thing. The presence of a future heir to the throne changed the king's commitment, changed the form of safety, changed the surveillance around Wumi to ensure that nothing happened to her and nothing happened to the pregnancy. And by doing this, made Mohbad the scapegoat for them to bully, intimidate, threaten, and at the end of it, Kpai. Those that released the video of Sam Larry, where he was trying to beat Mohbad, they did not do so in good faith. They wanted to justify the fact that Mohbad was being bullied, and that bully was coming from the record label. What they failed to understand was that somebody was also at the corner, watching their steps all the way, and it was that person that actually threw that petition out, where the names of these evildoers were written in capital letters. Because the purpose of that video was to tell the whole world that Mohbad was being bullied, though, and Naira Marley and then Sam Larry was seen as a 2IC of Naira Marley. Do you understand? Sam Larry was always seen as a 2IC of Naira Marley. They did not want to castigate Sam Larry. They wanted to castigate Naira Marley. So they thought people would easily look at it. Sam Larry remember Naira Marley in Kakri now. See Sam Larry balon Mohbad Naira Marley lo now. That was what they wanted to do. But they have forgotten the fact. Before Naira Marley, we had Saheed Elegushi. Before, Naira Marley told Sam Larry, only Sam Larry tin ṣiṣẹ́ fún palace. Tó fi adopti son name Elegushi gan tó fi pè ní Sam Larry Elegushi. They forgotten that fact. They didn't know that people's eyes will be opened. Then we'll get to know, no. Before, kí àgbà tó dó dáyé, kíní kan la di enje. But it was God that really wanted to expose these evil ones that brought that petition. That petition was timely. In fact, most of the discoveries that we understand today, so far, is as a result of that petition. If that petition had not come out, where would we have been today? The Bible says, if not for God that is on our side, what would our Israelites would have said today? And I'm asking you, the gladiators and the generals, if that petition did not come to the public space, what scope, what stature, what nature would justice of Mohbad would have taken today? In fact, it will have been non-directional. In fact, all of us would have followed the destruction by Yawa. We wouldn't have known that there is a big fish somewhere that produce the small fishes. Thank you, like the boss mom. We wouldn't have known. But because God wanted to show these people that he ruled over the affairs of men and is God of all flesh, and nothing shall be impossible for him to do. Not even the evil confinement and evil covenant will be able to overrule the decision of God. And that's why when you see Wumi will leave Sam Larry alone and we start talking about Naira Marley. They bully him. Yabo Joe will leave Sam Larry alone and we start talking about Naira Marley. Cancel Naira Marley. Because their target was to nail Naira Marley, made him vulnerable, and made him release the royalty to them. People claim that the day Mohbad died, that Sam Larry was the first person that Wumi called. Let me tell you the fact. For the fact that these people were not in that did not stop them from sending their boys to help Wumi to finish the job. That's the truth of the matter. They might not be physically present, but their products might have carried out the assignment in favor of Wumi Cynthia Adebanjo. Wumi must have lied profusely. Wumi must have manipulated the king into believing that the life of Liam was in danger. Wumi must, you know how manipulative Wumi is anyway. You know she's a mother of all lies. The way she has inherited it from her mother, passed on to Karima, passed on to herself, and passed on to Olasukami. It was in their maternal blood. You know how manipulative this set of people are. So Wumi would have lied. In fact, they said when Wumi was with Naira Marley, Wumi will tell Naira Marley something different and will tell Mohbad something different in order to cause so much rancor between Mohbad and Naira Marley. And I've analyzed it in the past. Mohbad left Naira Marley's house because of Wumi. Because if you said you had signed 3 years contract and you had only 3 months left, please, what fraction of 3 months is, what fraction of 3 years is 3 months? What fraction? It means you have spent about what? About 33 months. Let's assume you are in bondage. But you have survived 33 months in that bondage. And it remains just only 3 months. Please, how much energy will be required to survive the 3 months? If you could survive 33 months, wouldn't you have survived the 3 months left? But because Wumi was certain that Naira Marley had told Baba Mohbad that your boy was just working, it was Wumi and her family that were collecting the money. Because the day Baba Mohbad went to Naira Marley's house to remove his child for Naira Marley, in order to take care of him spiritually, Naira Marley told Baba, please take him away. It was Wumi that was jumping up and down that they should not take Mohbad away because she knew the spiritual bondage she put Mohbad, and she did not want Mohbad to be free from that bondage. So she was unrest. She was having this unrest. She was not at ease that they were going to take Mohbad for spiritual cleansing. So even Naira Marley knew Mohbad was in problem. And not that she was in problem because he was staying with him. He was in problem by the virtue of woman he was staying with. Because all of them, they know the kind of woman Wumi is. They know that this Wumi is not the best choice for Mohbad in every aspect. Be it spiritually, be it physically, be it mentally, be it emotionally, be it financially, be it anything. Wumi was a liability to Mohbad. And she's still a liability to any man that comes her way. That is the fact. And if Naira Marley and those boys in that house could actually see through the situation of Wumi, seeing her as a wicked fellow that would not allow Mohbad to fulfill his dreams, and they were not keeping quiet, they must have told this guy, come Mohbad, systematically, through music, through jokes and so that. But Mohbad was not seeing it because Mohbad was not in a physical bandage of love. Mohbad was in a spiritual bandage of love. They said Wumi had a calabash under the bed. Wumi was using jars even in Naira Marley's house. And those guys, they knew how fetish Wumi was. And they were calling Mohbad to retrace his step and do away with Wumi. And Wumi must have been feeling that heat, that she needed to take action. If not, this persistent nature of those that were in Naira Marley's house to make sure that Mohbad retrace his step and send her away will come to fall one day. And Mohbad's eyes will be open, all the child will be destroyed, and the rest will be taken by Mohbad. That was why Wumi made it compulsory. Wumi compelled and manipulated Mohbad to leave Naira Marley's house. Because that was the only way she could actualize her mission in the life of Naira Marley, of Mohbad. So it was not Naira Marley that sent Mohbad out. It was Wumi that used women logistics, women tactics to lure Mohbad away from Naira Marley, because in the result of it, if Mohbad was in Naira Marley's house, Wumi wouldn't have killed him the way she eventually did. That was the truth. Because even normally will know that if anything happened to Mohbad, he will be held totally responsible. Do you understand? So Wumi actually had to isolate Mohbad, take him away from Naira protection, send his father far away, and bring the dead brain's mother closer, the one that does not know more than to be eating amala, a glutton that prioritizes food over our own children, brought her close, enticed her with all little things, and then took away her son. So Sam Larry, in the real sense, his hands are not clean, even in the death of Mohbad. Even though he was not around according to him. But yet, he had the knowledge of Mohbad being silenced. He was carrying out the assignment of the palace by beating him, victimizing him, vilifying him, intimidating him, molesting him, dehumanizing him, and making him useless to himself. And Wumi, on the other hand, was not having it easy with Mohbad too. The video evidences are out there. She was not giving Mohbad the comforting zones. No. She was not offering olive oil to Mohbad. She was giving him hot, anytime, shouting on him and demoralizing him. Just because she was carrying a heir to the throne in her womb. Just because she had given birth to Liam. What complicated Mohbad's life was the birth of Liam. Either you like it or not. What attracted, what joined the king with this case is Liam. Forget about the business, whether powder business or whatever. But what is so important to the king at this point is the safety of Liam. And without Wumi, there's no Liam. The safety of Liam cannot be guaranteed unless Wumi is safe. And that is why the king is fighting tooth and nail to make sure that Wumi does not go down for the death of Mohbad. If Mohbad was poor, it won't be Kpai. The problem on ground is it goes beyond the issue of Mohbad's words. I said this on the platform yesterday. Wumi and her family were already in control of Mohbad's words. Let that be clear to you. Iyatunde was collecting 250,000 every 2 weeks from Mohbad. 250,000 every 2 weeks to come and take care of Liam. To take care of Liam, who was known to all of them as not belonging to Mohbad. They said they were throwing party in Mohbad's house every weekend, ordering all sorts of food. And when Mohbad visited Mohbad, they said Mohbad would be sleeping on a couch. In fact, they said the day Mohbad would visit Mohbad, Wumi and Mohbad will go out. And they will off the generator. But when Wumi and her family were in the house, they will be ordering food. From Chicken Republic, from all those. Chicken Republic, from all those. Chicken Republic, from all those. That showed that it was not about Mohbad's word. They were in control. Yeah, so 250K to look after Omolomo. Do you understand? That was what they were doing. They were in control. Do you understand? That was what they were in control. They already bought all the land in the name of the Liam. All the properties. They already bought it in the name of themselves and the boy. The boy did not have any property to his name. And that was why they also hijacked the acres of land. The boy thought he had acquired in his name. They hijacked it. And they put a new name on it. A name that nobody knew till today. So they were in control of the property. The only bone of contention is Liam. It's Liam. And it is just because Mohbad has come to the conclusion that this boy